Welcome to Take 5, your 5-minute inspirational message from Solid Rock Drogheda. Over the years, we've all become that little bit more careful about how we care for the environment. I can remember a few years ago thinking how strange people in Germany were because they had a recycling bin as well as their normal bin. And back in the day, we were just throwing all our rubbish in the one bin. And I thought, we'll never do things like that. And today, of course, we all have our green bin and we have our black bin. And sometimes we have different colors of bins for other things as well. We recycle glass. And it's a change that's taken place. We've seen changes with the tax on plastic bags here in Ireland that has reduced the number of plastic bags that they used to litter every hedgerow in our countryside. We've all become that little bit more careful when it comes to the environment. Now, one of the problems with caring for creation is that people sometimes attach this as a political idea. We live in an increasingly politicized society. And as a result, people often, when they look at an issue, says, how does this fit in with my political philosophy? In other words, is this a left-wing position or is this a right-wing position? But you know what? We're not supposed to do that. I don't serve the left wing. I don't serve the right wing. I serve the Lord of Lords and the King of Kings. And so that means that any question, any issue that we're looking at, I shouldn't be asking myself, well, is this left or right? I should be asking, is this right or wrong? What does the scripture say? What does God want me to do? And there's no doubt that the scripture says that we should care for creation, care for God's world. Psalm 24 verse 1 says, the earth is the Lord's and everything in it. And we see down through Old Testament and New Testament that God values his creation and loves his creation, even though it's fallen and spoilt by human sin. In Exodus chapter 23 in verse 10, we read that the Israelites were commanded to have a Sabbath rest for the land. They weren't only to take a Sabbath themselves, but with the fields, every field that they sowed crops in, every 7th year, they had to leave that field to be fallow, to rest. Now, they maybe didn't understand the principles of agriculture like we do today, but actually that's a tremendously powerful thing to do with land. It enables God to restore the nutrients into the earth that the earth will need to keep producing the crops for the next 6 years. So caring for creation and caring for the land was part of God's covenant with Israel. We need to care for this earth. You know, sometimes Christians have said, well, Jesus is coming back again and it's all going to be destroyed by fire anyway, so therefore it doesn't matter. But that's, you know what, we wouldn't behave like that with other aspects of creation. Imagine if somebody kept coming and dumping all kinds of filth and rubbish and sewage and oil into your garden outside your house. Would you just say, oh, well, it doesn't matter because Jesus is coming back soon anyway and God's going to destroy all of this, so let's just let my garden be a festering cess heap? No, of course you wouldn't. Why? Because you've got to live in it. You've got to live in that area. That garden's going to be next to you. You're going to see it every day when you come out of your house, and therefore you look after it. And the fact is, Jesus is coming back again. And we will have a new heaven and a new earth. And thank God, and I look forward to that. But we don't know when that event is going to take place. And there have been plenty of generations of Christians, including many better Christians than me, who thought that Jesus was going to return in their lifetime, and they're long dead and long gone. And so we need to make sure that we care for this world for the sake of our children, for the sake of our grandchildren. We need to make sure that we haven't just dumped so much rubbish in that we make the world unlivable for them. Yes, God is going to create a new heavens and a new earth, but for the sake of those that still have to live on this earth, including ourselves and including future generations for however long Jesus tarries, we need to care for this creation. That's not being liberal. That's not being left-wing. That's just being a biblical Christian, it's one of the things that we're supposed to do. It's called stewardship, caring for the things of God that God has entrusted into our care. I pray that God will help us to do that and to do it well. And join us again next time for another Take 5, your 5-minute inspirational message from Solid Rock Drogheda.